Hey, my name's Son Rob. I'm a rapper, recording artist, producer from Ottawa, Canada. I guess you can best describe my music as alternative hip hop. And yeah, generally speaking, just, free thinker trying to make beautiful music.
Gives a new feel, you know? It kind of detunes it. Yeah. Yeah. Like
Phasers do that
shit
too.
with a flanger, you know?
Yeah, I would like say it's more akin to like a phaser. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it kind of gives that feeling.
Yeah, you can do more weird shit with the...
You can do weird shit with reverbs too, though. You know, I take a reverb and start reversing it and shit. You know?
I started making music, I want to say, in 2015. Yeah, because it was two years prior to me releasing my first track. So 2015 about. And the reason why I started making music, I guess, man, I just fell in love with it. You know, I started listening to, the first album that made me like really love music was Good Kid, Mad City by Kendrick Lamar. And after listening to that album, I basically like, I wanted to do it. You know, this is what I wanted to do. You know, this is what I wanted to pursue. And through finding Kendrick Lamar and listening to like, Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole and that, I found Earl Sweatshirt. And I like at the time Earl Sweatshirt was so young, right? So I saw myself in that, like, oh, I could do this too, It's attainable. Shit, my first studio session wasn't even in a proper studio. My first studio session was in a community center. At like very close to like where I grew up, Point Gatineau, called Point aux Jeunes, and my very first studio session was with one of my homies, Eve, and bro, we made like some terrible song about like police brutality or some shit like that, off like a J. Cole type beat. It was absolutely terrible, but it was fun to make, and that pretty much sparked my love, for being in the studio, making music, all that stuff,
You should also hop on this beat too. I don't know if I sent it to you. I don't even know if I showed you.
You show me anything. I don't know nothing.
I think I showed Rob when I first made this.
I've heard this before.
Yeah.
You sent me this. You don't have a hook on this?
No,
this is the first time
it
I'm
wasn't
hearing
this
this.
one.
Wasn't this one?
Oh no, that was a different beat
Yeah.
that I made a hook to and whatever.
No, it affects my it affects my marketing because I do my own like all my own stuff like by myself. It doesn't affect my artistry because I'll never like, oh, this type of track didn't do the type of numbers that I wanted it to, so let me do more songs like the other track. I'll never do that, because that's just not how I make music. I don't make music to like chase numbers. I make music, because I love music. And I make what I want to hear. What I'm not hearing, I'll make it because I want to hear it. And obviously I want to make a career out of music, but I don't think that's how it works. If you want to gain fans and, keep fans long term, the way you do it is by, I guess, showing your fans who you are, right? And who I am is not, chasing stats and all that stuff. It doesn't work. That's not how I make music. I'm sure people could do it, but nah, that's not how it works.
I did the hook for Tyrone, and I told him the other day, I'm like, yo, bro, I'm low-key cheese because I blessed you with a sick hook, and you gave me one of the most mid-verse of all time. And it's this track. Who's Tyrone?
Yeah, I think music has affected my personal growth because music is such a big important part of my life, and I've been doing music for so long, and like with that comes like doubts, it comes success, it comes failures, so many things that are just part of life have happened to me, right? Because like I'm a living, breathing human being like everyone else, but because music is so wrapped around my life, then like my failures are about music, my successes are like music related, So yeah, I've seen myself grow and like become a better man through music, and I've discovered a lot for myself through music. And I've done things that I'm, so proud of, and that, I've seen my brother do, and I've seen like, people that I could consider family do, seen things, gone places that I wouldn't have otherwise. So for sure, it's affected my personal growth.
I feel like the instrumentation is loud or whatever, but the reason why I like the other one is because it's organic and it's like it's in a rush and there's a whole lot of shit going on.
Yeah.
You ever get so mad at someone you could just kill them? Like it feels raw, you know what I'm saying? And I like it raw. My nigga, pause.
My personal growth has also affected my music, because I would like, I write about different things than I did when I was a kid. When I was a kid, like, I used to be angry as shit, Like, I used to write, like from a place of, like, anger, and, like, from a place of, like, you always write from an emotional place. And when you're a kid, you're a teenager, you're more, like, unstable, You're more, like, explosive, Your emotions are, like, so strong. Now, everything is more, like, I want to say calculated, but I also want to say, like, refined, more mature. So yeah, my personal growth also has affected my music a little bit.
Me look back down into high sheet. I be catch you making heads turn. They tryna fit, they know it's not me. I don't get FOMO, bitch, I'm in style. I want a Grammy off wave files. I want my checks in a pen and my bitch in a pen and my pen and be versatile. She done been saying that them been over their heads. It's been so for a while.
Man, that's always a tough question. I know that's the most important question, like, as a marketer, and like as someone that, is trying to make a living off of music. I guess the ideal Sun Rob fan is definitely someone that's a purist, a hip hop head that really cares about the craft, cares about pushing the genre forward and like innovation. But also someone that, sees the fun in music.
Down in Osaka, then I bounce. Neon lights in the street signs, billboards that I can't pronounce. I'm not from around here, she wanna show me shit in town. I don't want no problems, feel like a target, then I'm out. I got too much yen to count.
Koga started a long time ago. Initially, Koga started as just training season, and I wasn't even involved with Koga at all yet, right? And at some point, I met training season, which I met specifically Caesar. Caesar had commented on a YouTube comment, right? It was like a Earl Sweatshirt type beat, something like that, and he commented, "If you're from Ottawa, hit us up," right? And me, at the time, I was so young. I was like a 15-year-old kid. I commented like, "Yo, I'm from Ottawa, whatever, let's work." These guys ghosted me. They blanked me, right? And eventually, they did Blues Fest. And that year, Earl Sweatshirt was going to be at Blues Fest. And I went by myself as a 16-year-old kid, 15-year-old kid or something like that. And I saw them, and I was like, "Yo, here's my chance." You know what I'm saying? So I ran up to them, like, "Yo, I'm Rob, whatever. Like, I showed you guys my music." And that's when they hit me back, like, a few days later. And they actually checked out the song. And, bro, it was fucking nice. You know what I'm saying? And from there, we started working together a little bit. And, we made songs together. And eventually it just, happened that I just became part of the group. And then Koga happened a little later. The idea of Koga was like after, we added, myself was added to the group and Greenbeard was added to the group. It kind of became like, yo, this is less of just like a trio. This is a collective. You know what I'm saying? And that's how Koga happened. So Koga has always been the extended family.
Oh, sure, good. How do you know her? I seen him on you posted something on IG. Yeah. And I saw him and I'm like, "Yo, guy came here to my house not that long ago." Yeah, it's great. Right? And I asked my brother, "Look at that Sparrow." He raps too. He's not the one who runs it. He's right here. He's like on the street. Yeah, that's great.
Essentially, it started with the idea that, yo, we're going to go to Japan, right? And if we go to Japan, we have to make the most of it. And I'd never done a trip, like a business trip before. But I knew that, you know, if I go to Japan, I want to do something special. I want to make it very memorable. And from that, we decided, okay, like let's make some songs with some Japanese artists. So what ended up happening is that essentially me and Caesar kind of managed this thing. And Caesar and I basically told everyone like, yo, we're going to Japan. We want you guys to do research on Japanese artists that you would like to work with, right? And honestly, it was Caesar that ended up finding the 2 artists that actually made it to the tape, or the 2 Japanese artists that made it to the tape, Take M and Wigdurus. And he found them, and that's why I say at the time, I didn't really realize the extent to how big these artists were, how important they are in respective to Japan and Japanese hip hop. The artist that I found for myself was Crafty. Crafty Kid, who features on East. It was actually a fan that had hit me up while I was doing ads targeted towards Japan. And he essentially, you know, he wanted to introduce me to people in Japan. He wanted to, you know, help us out. And he ended up, you know, connecting me with Crafty Kid, which is an amazing artist, you know, himself, from actually London, Hackney, London, who is based now in Tokyo. So crazy connections, man. It basically came about as an idea of, yo, we want to travel, but we want to make the most of our travel. I think they're more impactful. I used to think that, yo, I need to drop singles. Like, I need to drop singles because no one's going to listen to the whole album. And very recently, actually, my whole mentality completely switched. It's super important to me to have albums. Why? Because I like albums. I care about albums.
No, man, it feels good, man. It's cathartic, you know what I'm saying? It's cathartic. It took us, we waited for it, and not only did we wait, it took a long time to finish and shit. And, like, the film finally, like, you know, see it come to life and shit. Yeah, exactly. It's starting to build for that, you know what I'm saying? Because we do the scouting for, like, which artists we're going to work with.
I care about albums, and I know that me, like, growing up and like what made me a fan of people was albums and full projects, and to this day how I listen to music is albums and projects. And I know that to become a fan of someone, you have to connect with them in some capacity. So basically what made me connect to music was those projects, those albums. So I think it's important for me to make projects because the people that are going to like my music are going to connect with me, and that means they're most likely like-minded in some way. I guess the way that someone consumes a song is more thought of in the mixing process. Like, where do I envision the song being played? Because in terms of writing a song and in terms of like creating a beat, I'm more so trying to capture like an emotion, a vibe, a feeling, you know? So I'm not really like thinking about, are they gonna consume this, you know, in a project, or are they gonna consume this as a single? Or I'm not really thinking that way. I'm more so thinking, let me make the best song possible. And the way that I make music is that I create a lot of songs and then I find the album in that collection of songs. The way that I'm making so this is actually, you know, for down the line, this is not my next 2 projects, but my big album, like down the line, what I'm doing is I'm making 100 songs. And it took me until about 50 songs in to understand what I was doing, like what type of idea I was trying to create for that album. And then that gives me direction to finish it, like to do those extra 50 songs and you know, 100 songs is like, you know, the number doesn't matter, but that's just the number I set in my head that I wanted to make for this album. And obviously I'm going to dwindle it down to about, you know, 10 to 15 tracks. But yeah, it's more so like I make a lot of music and then I find the idea that I was trying to capture subconsciously.
All right, so I want to let y'all know Koga is a hip-hop collective from your city, the city of Ottawa, but Koga's for the world. The right time is right now. Koga Luv Japan.
Yeah.
Next, I'm doing an EP. It's a collection of songs that I've already made plus one. That song's gonna be called Say Some. If you're a fan of mine, if you're in my broadcast channel, you already heard the song. If not, you gotta tap in. So Say Some's gonna be the top song from a new EP. After that, I'm gonna drop Who's Driving. Who's Driving is a more lighthearted, summer type vibe mixtape. And then after that, I'm dropping Koga Boga, which is just straight hip hop.
Bobby Koga, bitch, I keep it brief.